Welcome back. Alright, a couple of things. First, if a commenter by the name of Nemo is watching, yes, I will get to that Oigo Boigo album. The person asked me to review it. So far, I've only heard the first song, but from what I heard, I liked it. Expect that album review to come out maybe Saturday, Sunday, depending on whatnot. Thank you for being civil in the comment sections last video for Muscle of Love. I enjoyed hearing what you guys had to say in regards to why you like the album, and somebody else said like why they didn't really care for it as well, so that's all nice. And before Welcome to My Nightmare came out, the Alice Cooper Greatest Hits was established by Warner Brothers, which is a pretty awesome album cover to tell you. Yeah, those backsides there, and of course you got the band on the front, and there's a Groucho Marx and various other people, and then you got like the little mobster takedown. So yeah, very very cool stuff. And then in the album sleeve is The Shining. No, it's still the band. It's got various other people. I'm sure they're all actors, celebrities, and whatnot, but that's not my realm. I don't really know too much. But yeah, the gas station signs are all pretty cool. And then the back you carry on the Cherokee parts. That's pretty cool. And then down there, the greatest hits. I think it was like 90% Killer, pretty much. Yeah, give or take. But so that came out. But what we're here for is Welcome to My Nightmare. So again, the band's broken up. Alice Cooper solo career. Still got Bob Ezra and Shep Gordon. And there's the album cover. Money. This is awesome. Of course, decades later, Welcome to My Nightmare, 2 as in the number, will kind of follow this trend right here. Still coming out of the triangle, be a different outfit and whatnot. Instead of the blue, it's like a steel, but still. We're talking about the original one here. Logo's cool. It's got this groovy whatnot to it. And I've always kind of wondered about the strings. And then it wasn't until a couple days ago, I'm like, well, it looks like it's connected and it's going up, so it's like a ventriloquist dummy. I'm not too sure. And then the backside, you got the Black Widow and the Fly. Now, what I like about the Black Widow is that they don't do like every movie or cartoon where they put the hourglass on its back. It's on the belly, people, so they got that right. And there's all the track listings and whatnot. And on the inside, for the album sleeve, there's the side A side where he's throwing his hat like that one dude in that one James Bond film. Then the back side, again, got the spider, a little broken leg, and various other listings. So this was huge for Alice Cooper. Of course, you got great hits like Welcome to My Nightmare, Black Widow, of course, Only Women Bleed and whatnot. And then you got this, amazing, extravagant Broadway production tour that, they had to pay for themselves, because they're indie. It's on Atlantic label for the record itself, but then afterwards they can continue on for Warner Brothers until Dada, in which case he goes on to I'm forgetting the name. But in any case, Welcome to My Nightmare. I really enjoyed the album, and for the first track, of course, it is none other than Welcome to My Nightmare. So the intro sets the mood like right away. You got the bass, and then got the slide of the guitar strings, which I really like, and then the voice is very low. And it's the bass and the guitar follows it, which I like as well. And then the way that the guitar plays as well, it builds up as it's leading to him singing Welcome to My Nightmare. And then that's when kind of like shit hits the fan a little bit until the mid part. Then it really does. Drums kick in. They got the boppy instruments in the background. Voice raises in volume. Of course, it's been said a million fucking times. It's got the Jim Morrison tone to it. Solo is great with the guitar, and again, lead up and with the trumpets. If you like trumpets, this album is for you. And like I said, trumpet and drums, they get fast in the tempos. The vocals, so the solo itself, it's about, I'm going to say 2 minutes long. At least it feels like it. So you got the, the guitars, bass, trumpets, everything. Everything's just going off like some New Orleans festival. And then he comes back in with the vocals, and he's like really giving it all. He's like loud and whatnot, to say the least. And then I like towards the end where he yells, "Breakdown!" And then a bomb goes off. It reminds me of Kiss's, Detroit City song. which I like as well. And of course, the trumpets and guitars carry away the song. So yeah, that's a pretty damn good solo intro for this album. I'm going to tell you that. All right, so the next one is Devil's Food. This is split in half. Half is like a song, then half is a dialogue with none other than Vincent Price. Of course, Vincent Price, famous actor, predominantly horror, and of course, later on, Michael Jackson would take inspiration, and he'll have his own, little cameo in his song Thriller, which will be coming up in October, right? But for Devil's Food, the guitar intro, it's heavy and it's mean. That's great. And then the drums as well. And then the vocals just come in screaming, talking about, get ready for the lady. That's awesome. Just giving it his all right there, that's for sure. And then when he's singing, like, towards the mid part, there's like this static filter that goes through it, and then there's background vocals talking about Devil's Food, just repeating that line, and then it gets to a certain point where they all go, ah. I didn't mean for my voice to crack before I did that. And like I said, Alice is very aggressive, so it's about that for, I'm going to say like 2 minutes, just give or take, whatever. And then it leads into the Vincent Price theme because the instruments slow down, and then Vincent comes in, and he's leading this boy, I believe, which is, I'm just going to say it's Steven. Steven has like 50 characters through various albums. He's either a serial killer, he's a spider, he's locked up somewhere, so I'm just going to assume that's Steven. And he's talking about like one spider. It's just kind of sad that it's not venomous, but then when he gets to the Black Widow, he gets very excited. He's talking about like all like the deadly symptoms you'll carry if you get bit, like difficulty breathing, vomiting, sweating, and then he gets so excited, violent compulsions, and then when he says, and finally, death. So he's all bummed out, like, oh man, you finally die. But then he carries it off with, I think it's time for man to stop ruling the world like a stumbling child and let the Black Widow, rule the world and whatnot, because it has that inborn need to dominate, possess, it eats its husbands and whatnot. And as he's finishing that, that's when the instruments really come in, and then, it hammers in when he's saying lines such as, time for a stumbling child, and no more, stuff like that. But yeah, like Devil's Food's a great, I love the intro part when he's just screaming it. The Vincent Price song is pretty great as well. So there you go. Alright, the next one, so that leads directly to that, is the Black Widow. So Alice's voice is very low again. He's like, these words he speak are true. We're all humanary stew. We don't pledge allegiance to the Black Widow. So it's very awesome. Got this evil attitude about like having to worship it and whatnot. The horror it brings, the horror of its sting, stuff like that. And I love when he says widow. So it's not just Black Widow, it's Black Widow. He's got that emphasis on it. And just like the chorus itself, when he's like portrays himself, at least that's what I get as the Black Widow, because he just elevates his voice, love me, yes we love me, and then the chorus kicks in, which are kids, and then they come into, yes we love him, ah. So that's killer for me, and then it's followed up, with more instruments, so I love that. And then just how Alice just depicts like what the Black Widow's doing, sitting on his throne, picking at all the bones, eating husbands and wives devoured, even like husbands, wives, virgins, and children and whatnot. So then the chorus continues again, with the elevations and whatnot. And then there's a little solo piece, longer than a little, and then it picks up again with the instruments, but it's playing the chorus itself, so that's pretty cool. And then it ends with the bang of the drums, and of course with the fast tempo. So pretty great start for this album. I would say though, I'm not going to label this like my favorite Alice Cooper record. I mean, I definitely see why, but it's up there for sure. I know like somebody in the last comments thought it's like a little bit overrated, which I can see why. Alright, the next song, Some Folks. This one, I know this song, I'm not going to say it gets shit, but, People usually like, oh yeah, this is great, except for Some Folks or Escape. But Some Folks, I think, is a pretty great song nonetheless. It opens with this jazz feel, boom, 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 and then you got, little snaps and whatnot. And then the vocals are low and raspy, and of course it raises that part. And then the chorus is great with Alice and the backing vocals. This is necrophilia all the way through. So he starts it with, some folks love to see red. And, there's other parts too, like some folks crave a blue lady. It's awesome. If you know Alice Cooper, at least. And then there are occasional words where he just like grinds certain lines and stuff, which I love. And then he gets all happy at parts too. I just can't live without it. I'm not a man at all. Makes my skin crawl. And then, the trumpets kick in at that part. And then, of course, the chorus itself. Baby, baby, come on and save me. So, this is probably like the one album I'm going to sing the most on here, and if you hate me doing that, I'm sorry. I guess there's always the fast forward button. But I do like the drum play that leads to the chorus itself. And then there's parts where he sings very, very fast, and he spazzes out, talk about, like, just can't live without it. I can't live. He just carries out the line live. I love that part. Like I said, necrophilia all the way through. And this ain't the last, folks. Alright, but Some Folks I really like. The Welcome to My Nightmare tour is pretty cool. You got the background dancers in like highlight skeleton outfits, I believe, if I remember. It's been a while. And then he's out in his white, tuxedo and top hat, and got Lowe's cane and doing the whole New Orleans dance thing. So that was pretty cool. Alright, the next one. The banger, the one that blew him off, the one that, expanded his audience. Oh shit, this guy can do a ballad? Only a Woman Bleed. Now, would this start, obviously this is going to start a trend of Alice going, oh, I think I need an album. I think I need a ballad in an album. For better or worse, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, it definitely does. Only a Woman Bleed. So again, you got your soft guitar and bass intro, and then Alice, he's in this sad tone, man's got his woman to take his seed. It's about like spousal abuse all the way through. Of course, 1975, if you call the cops about spousal abuse, they're going to say, sorry, it's just home correction, right? Pretty shit time to tell you that. And then, the instruments, they follow the atmosphere of this song, so it's not crazy or anything. It follows that low tempo, just like a reflection, like, guys, what the fuck's going on, like, nobody sees the problem in this, and then after the first chorus, the drums come in, they're soft, background vocals to the choir in the second part, and then the instruments come louder, when he's getting, like, more fed up, really, after he's singing Only Woman Bleed. And like how, the wife, she's all banged up, got bruises and whatnot, while the guy's, husband's drinking, and he comes back and does and whatnot. And it's just, come watch me bleed, look at me suffer, look what's going on type of thing. And Alice, like I said, he repeats the earlier stanza when all the instruments, like I said. And he really does start to get aggressive towards the end, just like a fed up. And I carried with energetic guitar play. And it's a pretty great song. And it's a powerful message, to say the least. And that ends side 1. At least side A. Alright, for side B is Department of Youth. This is, I guess, like a complete 180 from what we've heard on side A, because it's a very light and happy guitar play. The voice has some enthusiasm to it, to tell you the truth, or to say the least, I should say. And then I like when the chorus, which is Stir the Kids, when they come in saying like that, us, and, we're the Department of Youth, oh, we got the power, so that's fun as well. And I do like after the chorus, when like the drums and the bass, they beat nicely, so I like that. And Department of Youth, it's pretty much like a sister to Generation Landslide a bit, at least that's what I get. Or what's that new song off of Detroit Stories? I forget. But pretty much that same thing, Oh, our love will change the world, that's right. But yeah, it's just a fun song all the way through, just singing about who's got the power, we do, let's make change and shit like that. And then towards the end, you gotta raise the volume a bit because it's fading, the song's really fading. But he says like, oh, who gave that power to you? Oh, Downey Osmond. What? So that's fun. And I know like in tours and stuff, he would it would be like a different character. So like early 2000s, it would be like, oh, Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, stuff like that. So that's fun. All right, the next song will be Cold Ethel, Cold Ethel. This is a great song. I feel like I've been saying that for every time, but that's just how I feel about it. So the guitar and the cowbell are there to kick it off, that's for sure. And then grinding of the chords, which I really enjoy. And his voice is very raspy and excited. It's like, one thing I miss is Cold Ethel and her skeleton kiss. It's really great. Then there's, like I said, parts where he's very happy, melodic. He's singing about Ethel, just this corpse all blue. Yeah, she could be cold because she's dead, and making out in Refrigerator Heaven, which again, Refrigerator Heaven, at least, if you listen to the albums, that's kind of like a callback to the song of Easy Action. So that's fun. I like the little bass playing that follows it too. And, just the way that he describes the corpse, Ethel's frigid as an Eskimo pie, Maybe if you say that now, you probably get some looks on Twitter, but whatever. The ending is great too, where he's just spazzing out about Ethel being cold. Cold Ethel, cold Ethel. And then he's singing about like, if I live to 97, you'll still be there in Refrigerator Heaven. It's just great stuff. And again, it's another necrophilia song, but hey, if it works, it works, and that's what happens here, right? So Cold Ethel, really enjoy. All right, the next song, which is part of a trilogy of a concept in this album. So first start off with Years Ago. Now this is interesting. So if you have this, or just look it up or whatnot, harpsichord is listed on this song, as well as obviously this synthesizer and a harmonium as well. So because when you first listen to the song, I'm like, it's a guitar? No, it's got like a keyboard. And then I listen to it like, oh yeah, it is harpsichord or whatnot. So it definitely has that. It's like a creepy carnival ballpark like keyboard play, and then you got birds chirping there, and then the voice is very low distortion. It starts off with, oh yeah, here I go again. So basically take that tone throughout the entire song. There's parts where he has like sort of happy melodic tone to it, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like he's lost in his own world. Again, it's all about like Steven and shit, but like he's lost in his own world. Like, oh no, I'm a little guy. And then the voice comes in all deep and stuff. No, I'm a great big man. So, it's just really battling whatever sort of psychological or, mental or just like alternate reality he's in and whatnot. And it's creepy when the synthesizer hits. I tell you that, it's definitely is. And complemented with the whistles, and there's these unknown voices, at least just voices that I can't make out. And then there's a shift in tone, like I said, with the voice when he's like changing characters at least. And voice gets creepy. There's like I don't know if there's like another filter of a voice to it, wondering if it's mom, because like mom's calling out about like, Steven, come home, Steven. And that fades away with the keyboard as well. So creepy stuff. Which leads to the next song, Steven, Drop Dead, classic piano play in the intro. Chills, right? Chills. Voice is high, but it has a low decibel to it. But of course, there are parts of the song where the voice is definitely just low. He's got this sadness, just crushed voice breaking to it at times. And then everything blows up with the chorus. Everybody's yelling, Steven, I hear my name, Steven. But, it's basically like, I don't want to see you go, I'll put pennies on your eyes and it'll go away, don't die and stuff like that. Again, it's more of this sort of unknown theory about like what's going on. Is it real? Is it fiction? Like, is it all in his head or something like that? But yeah, like I said, everything blows up at the chorus with all the instruments and whatnot. And then Alice and the background vocals yelling the name, instruments just roar. And then after that, continuation, the piano, and crashing the cymbals. And then there's, of course, there's the intro through it, the solo through it. Nice guitar play before the line, I believe after the second chorus and whatnot, where he says, I don't want to feel you die, but if that's the way God has planned you, so it just definitely does get that creepy voice to it at parts, or the most song. And then, again, towards the end, it's not so much yelling Steven, it gets like this distorted, filtery, that type of thing, and then it breaks out into the chorus again itself. So Steven played, a gazillion times on tour, but it's a pretty great song nonetheless. Alright, the next one, The Awakening. So The Awakening is interesting to where you can definitely make the argument that if it's not in the album, if you don't have the concept in mind, that it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, or at least doesn't really hold itself a whole lot of weight. But nonetheless, The Awakening, while it's very short, it still carries that creepiness. But I think out of the past, the three concepts, I think this is probably the weakest. And I get it. It's the most mysterious, like, oh, why are there blood on his hands? Why was he in the basement? Stuff like that. Is that Steven waking up and realized he killed somebody? Who knows? That stuff's fun, at least to theorize, But as for The Awakening, again, you're continuing with this low and creepy voice. The piano's still there, but just like the instruments itself, it's distant, and it's oftentimes infrequent. And then, another word is conservative, to say the least. Then it all comes together when he's talking about, where's the line at? Oh, I see it all through real eyes, these crimson spots, on my hands dripping red and stuff like that, like blood. But yeah, like I said, just getting off his easy chair, going towards, he's talking about like he's so hungry and whatnot. Sorry, I thought he was singing about his wife. But in any case, it's not triumphant in its instruments or its vocal approach. It's more like a shocking realization that I did something, but I don't know what I did. So, and that's pretty creepy in itself, right? Alright, the song to end it off, wherever it is Escape. More like the scapegoat of this album, right? Because I know this song likes to get its fair share of criticism, and I understand. It's probably not the best song to end this album, but in any case, for what it is, I think it does its job. Because you're back to this Department of Youth atmosphere, to where it's just like a happy guitar, drums, you got the cowbells to it, his voice is high, it's just high mood, don't treat me wrong, treat me right, and he's like putting on, a happy face, and like raises, this one part I do like about this song is that he raises his voice at the end of a line, or when he's singing about escape, and lowers the tempo towards the mid part, I believe, and the pitch when talking about the show, like, oh yeah, I gotta get on the show, get on the stage, the audience, stuff like that. And then he goes through this part multiple times where he's talking about how he's crying in his beer, and then towards the end where he's with his doctor, that he takes the mascara that when the doc leaves and puts it on him, and he escapes. So what I get from it is like, you hide behind the makeup, you hide behind, the performance, the show, you're able to escape your problems, and, it's probably his alcoholism, of course, the road, the show, the tours, all the albums, all the songwriting, really burns you out, but you can push that all away when you're on the stage, and that's what I really get from this song, Escape. But, like I said, it might not be the greatest album closer ever, the song itself is fine for what it is, but like I said, I can definitely understand why, a lot of people would not really care for it. But there you go. Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. I really enjoy this album. I can understand why some people would think it's a little bit overrated. Trust me, I can understand. Like I said, I wouldn't call it my number one favorite, but if I was to do an album rankings, it'll probably be a top 10. So there you go. Next week will be Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. I'll have to listen to that again, but I remember not really caring it for it so much. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care.